Are price tags just suggestions? Well, maybe. 76% of people who asked for a lower interest rate on a card, they got one last year. That's according to a LendingTree report. The price isn't always right, and you can do something about it. To break down how to save money just by asking questions, we've got Matt Schulz, who is the LendingTree Chief Credit Analyst and author. Matt, great to have you here with us. All right, let's save folks some money out there. It's about building wealth and maintaining it. So to do so, you got to be able to ask the right questions. What is, perhaps starting with the number one question people should and could be asking to save money, what is it?
Well, one of the biggest questions that you can ask involves going to the doctor. We know that medical bills are really expensive, and one of the things that a lot of people don't think to do is when a doctor or medical provider recommends a service or a procedure, just ask them what would happen if I didn't do that, or what happens if I delayed that a little while. And oftentimes a doctor may say that there's a big rush. And obviously, sometimes in the medical world, there is, and you can't put those things off. But oftentimes, there is not necessarily that sense of urgency. And just taking the time to ask that question can allow you to potentially do that one procedure or that one action at a time where you might have a little more financial wherewithal.
How often should people be asking to, in this case, for the doctor to, either give them a receipt or, price it out for them or something like that, asking for options? How often should people be pushing back on the initial price that they are quoted?
A lot. I mean, you're probably not going to, it probably doesn't make sense for you to try and haggle over a box of Cheerios and a loaf of bread at Kroger. But in so many other cases, you absolutely can. And sticking with that medical idea, one of the key things that you can do is to ask for an itemized list of what was done when you had your visit to that doctor. And if you ask specifically for an itemized list with what are called CPT codes, which are basically the industry standard for describing exactly what procedure was done. That way you can find out, for one, exactly that you are getting charged for what you actually had done, and two, you can start a little bit of the negotiation process.
Certainly. And Matt, we were just taking a look at a few of the tips and tricks there on the screen. And I'm not sure who gave you the security camera footage to how I shop for my own cereal, but we'll discuss that later on. But as we think about the different types of refunds that people can get, the different types of experiences where they should and could be haggling, how much are people leaving on the table by paying too much?
They're leaving a lot of money on the table, and life's expensive in 2024. That's the last thing that we should do. And the credit card example that you gave is a perfect one, but it's certainly not the only one. And another good one, as we're going into people thinking about summer travel season, is as it relates to airfares, where if your flight gets canceled, oftentimes if you have that happen, the airline will come to you and say, well, we'll give you a voucher, we'll give you a flight credit, we'll give you miles back. But in most cases, if the flight is canceled, then the law is on your side and you don't have to settle for that first offer. You can tell them, no, I want that refund. I want my money refunded in full for that flight. And they have to do that.
All right, we're going to save that clip for our travel week when that comes up. Matt, thanks so much for taking the time. Matt Schulz, LendingTree Chief Credit Analyst and author. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right.